Hi guys, welcome back to Succulents in the City. Thank you for taking the time to watch my channel. Today, I want to talk to you about this guy here. This is, I call it Ming thing. The Latin name is Cereus Forbesii Monstrose Ming thing. If I did not pronounce that right in Latin, I didn't do it. It is what it is. I don't speak Latin. I don't know how to pronounce it, so take it easy on me. Now, for those of you who don't know what a Monstrose cactus is, this is basically one of those columnar cactuses. Right? And so what happened is that at the growing point, right, you know how the column cactuses, they grow from the top in the middle. Something happened. Either it got hit by lightning or maybe bugs ate it, or maybe an animal, or something happened. So, these plants, they're very resilient, and its way to cope with it is to grow differently. So I love these Monstrose and crested versions. I find them so sculptural and so unique. I just love them. The thing you need to know about them is that they are very temperamental, much more temperamental than their regular counterparts. Meaning, basically, in a nutshell, they can rot on you quicker. So this guy, I've had this over a year now. This was an impulse purchase at the Home Depot. If you watched my introduction video, I told you guys that I am prone to the impulse purchase in the Home Depot, especially when it comes to plants. Now, this guy had one of those controversial straw flowers hot glued onto him. It really, it didn't bother me. I mean, I didn't like it. It wasn't my preference. But amazingly, it just popped off. It outgrew it. So, as you can see, I have him planted in an orchid pot. Now, I like to plant cacti in orchid pots. Why? Because it has holes and it gives it more ventilation. The roots can dry out quicker with more ventilation, and I find that helpful, especially when you're dealing with something that's a little bit temperamental. And with rot, I know you can cut the plant up and you could try to reroot it, but it's really been my experience with my conditions that once rot starts to happen, it's 80% chance that it's done. So I'll talk to you about how I water him. Look, there's something coming out here. This is exciting. First of all, let's talk about repotting for a minute. Usually when I get succulent and cactus from the Home Depot, they tend to be planted. This has been there for over a year. Well, they tend to be planted a little bit deeper than I think they should be. Why is this important? Because it can make them rot a little bit easier. So I usually, you could see where the soil line was. I usually take that out a little bit and elevate the plant. I actually saw in the Home Depot recently, they had this again, and my one is twice the size of the ones that they have there now. So this means that this guy is happy. So I'm very happy with him. It's very, very pretty. I'm very happy. Now, what I say to you there's a cat here. What I say to you in my videos, I want you to take with a grain of salt. And I want to tell you why I say what I say. I'm very good at plants. I'm not an expert. I didn't study botany. I'm not real, all I know is that I grow plants well, and I love them. So that said, I have conditions that I grow these plants in a lot of different that are different than what you guys may have. You know, I'm dealing with growing these things, you know, on a windowsill in a high-rise building on a window. You know, I don't have a terrace. I can't put this outside and let it summer outside. It's not going outside. You know, no, it's basically, it's here for life. So when I tell you these things, this is my experience. Maybe some people have these similar experiences or these similar conditions. I know a lot of the people that I watch on in the plant community, which I love and I enjoy, you know, the conditions that they have are totally different than mine. Like one of my favorites, Cookie's cactus, she lives in Arizona. I live in Manhattan, and you know, I don't have a yard. This is growing in, you know, the most opposite climate that it's designed to grow in. Now, the way I see it, growing plants is a combination of a few things. One is luck. Basically, how healthy is your plant? You know, it's a living thing. Certain people, certain animals are healthier and stronger than others. It's just one of those things. Number two, what conditions are you growing it in? Number three, how do you negotiate the conditions that you grow the plant in with the environment with which the plant was designed to live? Like, for instance, I'm growing this on an east window in Manhattan, right? This plant is not designed for that. This is supposed to be in the desert somewhere. So I gotta be a little bit more careful with him. And I have to really, you know, have a look and figure things out. Now, unfortunately, the other day, I saw one mealybug on this plant. And I got very upset. You know, mealybugs, they're those little white things. It is, with these crested cacti, right, it is so hard to find out or to figure out what is a mealybug and, you know, what's just like a regular thing on the cacti. Like, for instance, like this thing here, this white thing. What is this? Does this come off? Oh, so perhaps that's a mealybug. That's not good. Like this right here, that's part of the plant. So this is how I treat this plant, because the thing with pests, the quicker you treat them, the better, especially if you have a lot of plants, because then it turns into a big mess, you know? Now, this plant is very, very difficult to reach in and kind of poke around and find out what's going on. Usually with a mealybug, you figure it out because it's like some sort of like white mushy thing, right? It's hard to get in there. So I like to use a bunch of tools, right? Nothing specific. These are just like nail things, right? That's like a cuticle pusher. This is like an ingrown toenail stick. This I find very helpful too. Here's just like a regular nail stick. And this really, it helps you get in there and so you could see what's going on. You know, like, is this like a part of the plant, like this piece here, or does it come off? Is this going to be like a bug, right? That's probably a mealybug. So is that something that I need to treat? So I did treat this guy yesterday for mealybugs, and I'm going to treat him again today. What I have here is alcohol with water. Yes, I repurposed the bottle from my hair product. It is what it is. And I spray. Now, I know a lot of people say you could just do a Q-tip and dip a Q-tip in there. You know what, even with those pointy Q-tips that the makeup artist uses, it's really not gonna work when you're looking at all these little bumps and folds and everything. So now you ask me, what about all the farina? Is it going to go away? I don't know if you saw, I treated this guy yesterday the same way I'm treating him now, with the spray of alcohol. I don't know if you saw, but there was farina. Maybe some of it came off a little bit. Maybe some of it didn't. But I'd rather have a healthy plant with no mealybugs than a sick plant full of farina that's going to die at some point. So it's important, you know, you get all up under there. This is just, like I said, this is alcohol and water. Make sure you get, because mealybugs, they're sneaky. They like to get in there and they like to hide. Now, I've seen other YouTube videos where people take their plants out and they, you know, they treat the roots and everything. I don't feel like doing that. Yeah, I don't want to disturb the plant anymore. And plus, you know, I'm doing this in the apartment. It's a mess. So what I really do is I spray the roots. But I find it best to really just spray and drench it. Spray it in all the folds. Now, it's important that this guy is treated now. It's important that he stays out of the sun while this is drying. So it's actually late at night right now, so he'll probably go back to his spot in the window and, you know, he'll resume his normal duties. You know, ideally you should isolate the plant. I don't have the space for that. I live in Manhattan in a small apartment. I don't have the space for that. I just have to treat him as much as I can, pray for him, pray for the other plants, and just watch them real close, you know? So the things that you need to remember is, do not put the plant while it's wet with alcohol in the sunshine. Otherwise, it's going to get sunburned. That's number one. Number two, mix your alcohol with water. That'll help prevent damage to the skin. Now, hopefully the skin doesn't get damaged. If it does, you know, we could talk about how to cover it up a little bit. But that'll be in a later episode. But most important is just to get rid of those mealybugs. And spray the roots. Drench it everywhere. And that's that. Oh, another thing that I like to do is when I water this guy, I shake its hand. You know, I want to feel if it's like firm or if it's got a little bit of a give to it. If it's firm, I don't water. If it's got a little bit of a give to it, then it's time for watering. You know, you could stick a chopstick in there if it comes out clean and no dirt. That's fine. You know, that's a good way to do it. But with me, I'm a touchy-feely plant parent. I gotta squeeze. I gotta make sure. So, you know, mealybugs are hard. They really go all over the place. So hopefully I sprayed everything. How often do you repeat this? You know, maybe every day, every other day. Some people say once a week. Me personally, I have a lot of plants, so I get upset and I want them gone. But, you know, you got to check, like, what is a mealybug and what's not. I don't know what that was. These things, they do have, like, bumps and things that can be confused for that. But I know what I saw the other day was definitely a mealybug. So I'm treating him. And right now it's the summertime. It's better for me to treat him in the summer than if I, you know, wait till it gets worse in the winter. Then that's going to be much harder to treat. So, all right, that's it for now. Cereus, Forbesii, Monstrose, Ming thing. Hi guys, I just wanted to give you an update. Oh, this is Coco. This is my daughter here, Coco. I just wanted to give you an update on my Ming thing over here. This is last night. I filmed the video where I was spraying him with the alcohol. So it's the summertime and the air conditioner's been on. I let him stay that night in the kitchen because there's no air conditioner in the kitchen. I didn't want him to get a draft. So I wanted to show you guys that I'd say about 50% of the farina survived the alcohol treatment. Look at this girl. She's like Kim Kardashian. She's such a spotlight hog. So look, like 50% of the farina has survived the alcohol. So I'm putting him back in the eastern exposure after his mealybug treatment. And I hope that there's no sunburn. You know, I can't guarantee it. These are living things. There's no guarantee with living things and their health. But here we go. He's gonna have a great day of bathing in the sun. Ah, Cocoa Bean. Oh, she wants a scratch. Okay.